Hello everyone, Criticorn here. Today I wanted to talk about exploration, and even though I'm a dedicated salvager, the information I found on exploration was really exciting, and I wanted to share that with you guys, who are somewhat new or deciding what kind of career you might want to choose. I do want to mention, if you are a veteran, this info might already be known to you, and that the game is still in the development phase and constantly changing, so I will definitely need to make an updated video once we have more info. Now, as an explorer, your primary goal is going to be gathering intel, jumping into the deepest points of space, or scouring a planet's surface, looking for things such as jump points, resource locations, derelict wrecks, abandoned stations, and rare content. And I'll describe all of those in a minute and what you might expect from those. Even if you're not in an exploration ship, you still can find these items, but exploration ships are specially outfitted with an array of sensors and scanners to find these items more quickly and efficiently than, let's say, a combat vessel. So while it's not limited to just an explorer to find items, if these things interest you, you definitely want to make the investment in an exploration ship. And the developers have said when the game is first released, 70% of the Star Citizen universe is going to be unexplored. So explorers are going to have a field day when the game first comes out, going to all sorts of different points in space trying to discover these items. And the developers have said even if a place is ravaged over and already been explored, they're going to constantly keep refreshing systems that have already been scouted out or discovered and refresh them with new content and new things to come across for future explorers. So systems will never be fully explored as they're always going to constantly keep changing. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about what I just discussed with you. The first is going to be jump points, and this one really excites me and actually blew my mind when I came across it, because I was expecting a jump point to be a very dull, boring wormhole that simply just is a shortcut and lets you get from point A to point B a lot quicker than traveling from planet to planet and constantly have to refuel your ship. Jump points are anything but, and by the looks of the art and the description of them, it's a fight for dear life. And I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. That right there is the inside of a jump point. And if you hit the walls or take a wrong turn, your ship blows up and you die. So if you don't navigate the jump point correctly, or if you just rub up against the wall, your wing's going to get sheared off and your ship's going to crash inside of it. That's how extreme these jump points are. And that really is exciting for me because I have to go through one. Now, after you've come across one of these jump points, if you wanted to make money off it the basic way, you would send a mapping drone inside, which would then scan the entire jump point. You could then go to the proper UEE office and sell that info and make it public. And if someone wanted to play it safe and not risk crashing or getting lost inside that jump point, they would buy your map, which you would then collect a royalty off of. And even if you didn't discover a jump point, the inside of jump points are constantly changing. So you could go in and scan a jump point already discovered and update with a newer map, which would then supersede the old one, and you would still make a little money that way. Another thing explorers are going to constantly keep coming across are those rich resource fields that are floating around in the asteroid belts or maybe deposited on the planet's surface. Now, it's all personal preference whether you decide to mine that up yourself or just sell those locations to the public office and collect the royalties off all those resources. Definitely keep an eye out for those rare ones and always have a friend who has a mining ship standing by so we can collect them for you. Now, another thing explorers are going to be able to do is explore the surfaces of planets, and this really excites me because the surfaces of the planets in Star Citizen are huge, and the developers are going to constantly keep refreshing the content so no one place will be combed over and never be explored again. There's always going to be something fun and exciting to discover. I personally can't wait to buy one of the exploration ships that has a vehicle attached to it so it can speed around on the planet's surface. And I'm going to give a little bit of speculative info as to what we might find here because nothing is confirmed yet, but we might find rich mineral deposits and resources, abandoned refineries and warehouses, factories, alien structures, civilizations wiped out, artifacts, and all sorts of other little hidden items along the planet's surface that are going to be really fun to explore. And one little personal thing that I hope we really find are big crashed capital ships in the planet's surface from maybe wars prior. That would look something like, for legal reasons, a certain movie that had a lot of stars and maybe some wars in it. And with that reference, that leads us to our next topic, which is salvaging. Now, salvaging for an explorer is going to be different than someone who's built on a salvage career because your ship isn't really equipped or has the cargo space to take anything off that ship of value. But there's a couple other things you can do when you come across a derelict ship. You can go inside and investigate it, and the developers have said you can stumble across clues or hints, which will be in the form of messages on the ship logs or maybe a diary floating around. And when you investigate it, it could lead you on a quest to stumble across rare content, and I'll talk about that in a minute. If you do this and you happen to find something, you can still sell the coordinates of that ship and let a salvager take that ship apart afterwards. So it's a double win scenario. Be aware it's a very big risk-reward system should you choose to go inside that ship, though. The developers have said the alien jump scare factor, where the aliens are going to tear you apart, or maybe a biological agent will wipe you and your crew out, is a very real possibility, so just be aware of those hidden dangers. Now, the rare content is something that only our imaginations could dream up, and the developers have stressed that when it comes to creating this content, their imagination has no bounds. They want to create items that people dreamt could never exist in the game, and they love the idea of that. These items could come in the forms of special alien tech, ships, weapons, armor upgrades, really rare items. And when you're an explorer and come across one of these items, people are going to be fighting for tooth and nail to buy that item off of you. So if it's something you don't want, it's going to be a massive payday and make you very wealthy as an explorer. Of course, they're rare for a reason, so don't count on coming across these every day. Now, the developers have said when it comes to scanners and sensors, this is what's going to make or break you as an explorer, because this is how you're going to find these items quickly and efficiently without having to put too much time or effort. They also have said that you're never going to be able to fit all of the scanners and sensors for everything on your vessel, so you're going to need to be very careful about how your arrangement is set up on your vessel. If you have an arrangement looking for minerals only, you're going to be able to find minerals, identify, and sell that information as quickly as possible with very little impact, as opposed to an exploration ship who's missing a few scanners and can't identify what kind of resources you just came across. So you always want to make sure that your ship is efficient with the best scanners and sensors on board. I could make a separate video for you if you'd like about what exploration ships might be good or bad. Again, I'm not a very good pro at this game, and there's many other channels that have very good insight as to what ships you might want to go for. But let me know in the comments section if that's something you'd like to see. And I just want to give a big thank you to you guys real quick who left feedback on the last video. It was really inspirational and got me to look into other careers, and really excited about just producing content for you guys because I was really happy that you enjoyed it. So just leave a comment in the comment section and I will definitely look it over if there's any kind of video or something you'd like me to discuss, and I'd be happy to look into it for you and produce another video at a later date. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something, and I will talk to you all later.